the stage at Madison Square Garden. DJ, I'm supposed to go on stage first. Where are the women? Supposed to act really serious. Looking at the lab lecture. Yeah, we are. All right. My name is Mike. I'm a prodigy guitar player. I was a child genius. I put this band together. I personally got all the worst musicians I could find to make myself look better. I play guitar and sing.
I'm Greg. My hobbies include water skiing and tennis, and I'm here to win big bucks. I play trumpet, I play congas, and
Hairy bagpipes,
and I sing when they turn my mic on, which isn't often.
Hi, I'm Doug. I'm here to help. I play bass. That's it.
I am Jason. I hit things. They don't let me speak.
That's what you used to do in the army, right? These two have been playing together since they were in their freaking diapers, though, pretty much. Well,
yeah,
which is
actually,
like 2
sometimes
years
we
ago.
still wear diapers when we want to mix things up a little bit.
Uh, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, our parents made the mistake of buying us all instruments, or Al and I. And we had a few bands growing up, and they were all pretty terrible. And but we sort of followed each other. We went to school at the same place in a few places, and then ended up in Portland. And had written a few songs that we wanted to play, but we're having trouble finding musicians, so eventually we just gave up on it. But I found a drummer who wanted to play and a bass player who wanted to play, and just started fooling around. And then Al joined in, and we played baseball together. So we went to school together. And but the other guys in the band, the drummer was a bartender at a restaurant I worked at, and we used to close down the bar and start our own little private parties after work and talk about having a band, but we both knew it was silly and we knew it would never happen, and he wasn't even sure he wanted to play music anymore. But somehow I talked him into it. DJ was the bass player, was just a guy who used to come in on Saturdays and hang out at the bar for 8 or 9 hours. And he had been in a band called Vicious Cycle, and they were like really heavy, and but they broke up, and he was looking for a project, so I asked him about it, and it turned out pretty good. Greg, I'm not even sure how Greg got in the band still. He just sort of always hung around, and he liked music, and I figured, you know, I knew he had a trumpet, and he talked about playing it all the time, so I said, well, come and see what happens. And you know, he practiced with us once and never left, so that's how he ended up getting in. And even though we're pretty mismatched, I think we all have really different interests in music. I cannot stand riding in a car with DJ because of the music he listens to. It works out nicely because we all sort of have a different perspective on what we listen to, so when we bring it to practice and are writing new songs, I have a tendency to put things in on our own, in terms of our own parts that might not have been there if we'd all listened to the exact same kind of music, and that's nice.
a new song.
She's a corker.
Yeah, actually, Mike and I, as Mike's already stated, we grew up since probably the age of 3 or 4. My mom was his first grade school teacher, so that made life interesting. No, but anyway, we pretty much played for an entire summer to enter a talent contest, and then when we got there, we really pretty much rocked out and got beat by a flute player. So that was quite the experience. I'm still getting harassment about
What was
that.
the talent show? What was it?
It was actually a lack of talent show.
Yeah. It was it was during a summer recreation. It's pretty much the rec department hosted it, and I think there were 6 or 7 bands, a couple people individually playing instruments, and a flute player beat us. I'm not saying she wasn't good, but
She was less bad.
started actually 4th and 5th grade. I played saxophone in the band, and I had to stop playing because it gave me buck teeth.
They gave you buck teeth?
No, I'm kidding, but it shifted my teeth around, so I had to wear a bridge. I guess that's what the orthodontist called it. But I'm sorry. So then I decided that I wanted to play guitar because I was a big fan of Eddie Van Halen, who then finally my mom broke down and bought me a guitar. It was a K acoustic, I think from Sears or something. I played that for a little while, took lessons for about a month, and my instructor kept making me learn these really bad songs, so I decided to go on my own and teach myself. I was pretty dedicated to it, I think. I played a lot as a kid, like 3 or 4 hours a day, and then lost interest in it for a while. I'd say, actually when I joined the Army, that was after high school, so lost interest in guitar altogether, and then I met another musician when I was in the Army who had a guitar, and I hadn't played one in like, I'd say a year and a half, and none of the guys I was with actually even knew I could play, and I picked it up and started playing, and they were amazed, and I went and bought another one. After our first little band gathering there, Rio broke up, and it was really depressing, and
Yeah, we disappointed a lot of people.
yeah, especially my parents, yeah. Went through high school, pretty much just playing guitar, but never really took it that serious. It was kind of something to do after school rather than doing my homework, and something to get back at my parents with. So, but and after high school, I joined the military. Mike went on to college, and pretty much lost contact for about 3 or 4 years, except around the holidays, this and that. Of course, we'd pick up a couple of acoustics and do a little playing here and there. But and when I got out of the Army, Mike was up at Maine at Orono. Yeah, this is our third, actually the third band I've been in with Mike. Again, Mike's been in several other projects. I think they did a couple of Wham covers. Culture Club. Sorry.
That's why I joined this band. He thought we'd do Careless Whisper. Time can never mend.
And yeah, so actually the whole story of like Hawthorne, it was kind of interesting. I think at one point, well, Mike and I were living together, and no, we weren't honeys.
Al just didn't have any friends. I had to take him in.
So we were living in this trashy apartment, and I just got a pretty good job, and pretty much had no interest in really playing in a band or anything like that. I wanted to focus on a career, and and get moving on, pretty much just move on with my life. And
Who wouldn't?
Mike, at that point, he'd started playing with a drummer from a bunch of friends of ours, Liquid Daydream. At the time, they weren't doing much, and Jordan started playing with, pretty much playing with Mike, and then that's where DJ came into play. It was the three of them, and again, I didn't have any interest in really playing music. I was pretty much focusing on my future, whatever that's worth, but
Not much.
yeah. And you know, then all of a sudden he comes home with all these great songs that they're playing and new songs that he's writing, and I started to get a little antsy, and it's like, care if I sit in with you guys once or twice? And then that's pretty much where it took off from there. And then of course Jordan moved to Oregon, pretty much the story of our life with drummers in the past.
Yeah.
This is when I was at SMTC, when I was in school. I lived in Old Orchard, right on the beach. It was nice in the wintertime because there was nobody there. But anyway, there's this guy that used to live below me who had been playing guitar for about 25 years. The guy is just amazing, and he's pretty much the one who said, you got to start playing lead, because you got a really good sound, this and that, and pretty much taught me everything. He taught me to have confidence in what I'm doing, and that's where it pretty much took off for me. And it's too bad, because he's a great guitarist, and I think he should be heard. But anyway, and then actually Mike started coming down to Old Orchard when he moved back from Pennsylvania, and we thought the three of us were going to start something, and then that pretty much died out quickly. But moved into Portland and been playing ever since. In the past, we've always had drummers, either they just quit, and it usually happened, we'd spend 3 or 4 months getting ready, and then after our first gig, they'd decide that they didn't want to do it anymore. So